Today on the podcast, I want to talk about a really interesting new company called Daytrix that has just raised $15 million. They got this from a bunch of big powerhouses, including SAP and some other AI companies that essentially they're creating AI-powered risk and compliance. It's kind of a platform that does this. Today on the podcast, I want to dive into everything that they're doing, why they were able to raise $15 million, how this ties in with some interesting plays that are happening in AI consulting, why I think this might be an amazing side hustle for you to start becoming an AI consultant for different businesses and all of that. So let's get into it. Before we get started, I want to say that today's episode, if you want to get a more in-depth deep dive on the side hustle of becoming an AI consultant, I just recorded a 20-minute long deep dive on exactly how I would recommend, after talking to experts, Connor Grennan, who is, famously one of the amazing AI consultants. He charges $20,000 to go and speak to groups of people. And he gave me a bunch of really amazing points, and I broke it down and also shared all of my tips and advice for becoming an AI consultant. And I put that in my exclusive piece of content over on our school community. So if you want that and dozens of other pieces of content and tons of other videos that we record every single week, go join our school community, amazing exclusive content. And this week I have a 20-minute deep dive on how to become an AI consultant for any niche, what you need to do. Now, the reason I bring that up is because this ties in really well with what exactly Daytrix is doing, what they've been doing in the past. So they've just raised $15 million, and essentially they're going to be creating this AI-powered risk and compliance startup, and it's kind of what their platform does. Now, the reason I bring that up, I think it's really important, if you're interested in consulting or anything, whatever it is, to pick a niche, pick a specific area of how you think that AI can help for a certain company. And there's two ways to do this. Number one, to pick an industry or niche. So like with Daytrix, what they've done is they're kind of looking at risk and compliance, right? And they have some tools that can help with risk and compliance for companies. Another version of this, though, is to become an expert in certain platforms. So become an expert at, for example, using Runway to generate video, and then contacting all of the companies that might need to generate sort of like video, and become an expert on sharing and onboarding their the people at their company on how to use that. So you can either go with a specific platform or type of tool, maybe just like image generators in general or video generators in general, or specific companies, or all of the different AI tools that a specific industry would need, right? All the marketing tools that a marketing department might need, and doing that. So in any case, Daytrix is a really interesting company. They just raised this Series A, which was led by Team 8, and also SAP and Jerusalem Venture Partners, JVP. So really what they're kind of focusing on here is in risk mining. So they're using AI to autonomously detect financial anomalies, fraud, and also different compliance issues. And they're doing this across a bunch of different enterprise systems, including SAP, Oracle, and Salesforce. So that's why SAP kind of is investing in them. You see this quite a lot when one company is doing really well and it's doing a lot of work with a bigger company, one of these startups. Oftentimes that bigger company will come and invest in it. And it's actually an investor strategy I've heard talked about before, which is called balance sheet investing. You look at things on your balance sheet that you spend money on as a company or as an investment firm, and then try to invest in those specific things. So this is something we see a lot. So let's talk about some of their core platform features, what Daytrix actually offers. They have a financial integrity platform that essentially offers a autonomous process to discover real-time, issues and kind of expose them. And they have an integrity intelligence dashboard that essentially gives you really comprehensive oversights to prevent financial damages, fraud, all that kind of stuff. They highlight it. They use different AI tools and some home-cooked stuff to essentially detect when there's financial anomalies and fraud that could be happening. Now, this is really interesting. Obviously, they have their own home cooked stuff, but it's so interesting to think that some of these same things they do, like we could literally do in a very, in a less automatic way. Like, for example, you could literally just copy and paste a list of like 200 financial transactions, paste it into ChatGPT and say, identify any of these transactions that look like they could be fraudulent or could have issues, especially if you were able to, upload a PDF and say, based off of this PDF that shows some fraudulent transactions and not fraudulent transactions, detect some that are in this specific financial statement, and you kind of upload documents. So is that the best way to do it? No, it's better when people kind of build these home cooked software that are able to do powerful things like that. But it's interesting that you actually could do a lot of these things yourself by hand. So it's cool that we're starting to get some of those tools, and as these tools get better and better, we'll have access to all of them. So I think that's super, super cool. I think this is going to have a big impact on business as far as what Daytrix is doing. They said by analyzing 100% of a company's financial data in real time, that they are saving people millions of dollars. They actually uncovered a $2 million non-compliant payment at one of their clients, which is obviously a very big deal. And so they're saving up companies a lot of money. And it's interesting because what they actually said, there was an article written about them on VentureBeat, and they were kind of talking about this. They had an interview and they said, quote, "We were a consulting company for many years, managing large projects with around 500 consultants. At some point, we decided to transition into a software company to achieve scale." So what I find interesting here is this literally was just a consulting company. They got really good at one particular area. They scaled up to a lot of consultants and then eventually decided to become a software company and, raised $15 million. I think that something very similar could be done by yourself, by becoming a consultant in a very specific area, becoming very good at that specific area, hiring other people, building out a consulting agency specifically. I think there's a big opportunity around AI and AI tools beyond just, like compliance or logistics or like one specific area. A lot of companies are looking for that right now, becoming an expert in those tools or that area, and then eventually, turn it into software, and if that's kind of your path. And if not, it's a great, very lucrative business even for one person to do. So I think overall this is a great business model. So I'm really excited to see what Daytrix ends up doing with this money and their platform, and kind of what they're able to do. They have this interesting thing. It's a 7-day challenge where they promise to uncover actionable insights from a company's data within 1 week. And they're essentially showing how they can replace manual audits in real time with their automated process. Now, what's interesting to me here is you could, with the right prompts, hire a virtual assistant, probably to use ChatGPT or other AI tools to copy and paste and, like, in a very non-autonomous way, do a lot of the same stuff using AI tools. So I just think this is fascinating, where it's such an interesting time. But could anybody do that? No, it's going to be a compliance or fraud or legal expert that is going to be able to develop the prompts, know the process, know the systems, maybe know the software that you need to use in order to hire someone to do that. So I just bring it up because I think there's a lot of opportunities right now to use AI tools to scale yourself out. And if you're a consultant, you have a lot of opportunities there that were not there even 1 year ago. So I'm really excited to see what Daytrix does. They're making a bunch of partnerships with Deloitte and PwC and SAP and a bunch of these other Tiva, CyberArk, a bunch of these other big companies. I'm excited to see where they grow. But more importantly, I would be really excited if you started as an AI consultant for your specific industry, and charge people to go speak at their events, to help them. I think this is a fantastic side hustle. So if you're interested in that side hustle, I do a bit more of a deep dive on how to get started, how to have the conversation, how to sell people, and what I've seen in the past, what Connor consulted on doing. And all of that is in our school community. There is a link in the description to that. I think you'll love the school community. It is for a limited time. It is on sale this week. We're going to raise the price of that to $50 or $100 a month eventually, but right now it's a fraction of that. So if you go ahead and click the link, you can join our school community. Amazing group, and we cover lots. Hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will catch you next time.